Night, WWE pulled off one of the craziest heel turns I have ever seen in professional wrestling. Of course, I'm talking about the New Day. The 10-year anniversary of the New Day was last night on Monday Night Raw. And what everyone thought the story was leading to was the return of Big E. Even if he couldn't wrestle, he was going to talk to Woods, he was going to talk to Kofi and get them back to reunite. And then the New Day were going to go on this tag title run. And it looked like that was exactly what was happening. Big E makes his return. Big E gives that big brother, father speech to them, get them back together. And then what happened next is what nobody predicted. And it was Woods and Kofi blaming Big E and turning on Big E. They blamed Big E for just showing up now. They blamed Big E for breaking his neck, never getting the surgery and leaving, having this whole new life, having this new girlfriend, picking everything else, picking himself over the team. I never thought that I could ever hate Kofi Kingston or Xavier Woods, but I hated them more than I've hated 90% of wrestlers in this segment because it was just, they called Big E a burden. How the fuck do you do that to Big E? And now I think that a lot of people are questioning why WWE went this route. And I've thought over multiple scenarios in my head, but I think the one that makes the most sense to me is that they're not doing this to be malicious. They're doing this to get Big E back. And maybe I am just being optimistic because every report has come out that like Big E probably is never going to wrestle again. And Woods even mentioned that in the segment. But I struggle to see the long-term idea for this turn outside of this being the thing that motivates Big E to come back. And then he's back into wrestling with them. And they knew that they were going to have to do the really, really hard thing to say that. Even Woods at a point can't look at Big E when he's yelling at him. I think that maybe all of this is to get Big E to be medically cleared. Maybe he makes, being insanely hopeful is the Royal Rumble, but maybe this is a WrestleMania thing. Maybe this is a whole year build. Maybe this is SummerSlam. Who knows? But I'm really hoping that all of this is to get Big E back, and this is a huge story for his return. And I see a lot of people saying that this is also going to involve the Wyatt Six, which I think is the next thing for New Day. In these segments that the New Day were having when it was just Woods and Kofi, and then this segment last night, it's followed up by Wyatt Six stuff and also Karrion Kross Final Testament stuff. Maybe there can be an element of Karrion Kross because this is kind of what he wanted to happen. And there's this big theory that does seem to be correct that whatever Karrion Kross says is going to happen ends up happening. Even if he loses the feud, he actually is right in the end. So I definitely think that we're going to see the Wyatt Six versus the New Day going forward. But I truly struggle to see the long-term plan if it is not for a Big E return. I've seen another idea floated around there is that they are turning the New Day heel and that when their contracts end, they could be possibly going to AEW. Now, I know that a lot of people think that that would never happen. And I would say 90% chance that doesn't happen. And I think that this segment has been praised to no ends, and which is great. And even like Michin and Michin's sister, who is Big E's girlfriend, is all over social media running down New Day. Everyone hates Kofi and Xavier, as they should. They're the most hated team in professional wrestling right now. And if that's what WWE was looking for, they got it. But I was actually really excited to see Big E as a manager and managing New Day into a tag team title reign. I think that for sure now they are going to win the tag titles. I'm just very interested to see where it goes after this. I hope that WWE didn't make a big pivot last minute to get this big shocking moment without the long-term plan in place. And Triple H is typically a long-term plan guy. So I'm going to give WWE the benefit of the doubt that they know what they're doing going forward here. Maybe the Wyatt Six will scare the sense back into New Day. But one thing is for sure, when Big E, if Big E ever comes back, that babyface pop is going to be generational. I do think it would be really cool to see Xavier and Kofi realize that they can't just reunite over their hatred of their best friend. And those cracks begin to form again on Kofi and Xavier. Nobody feeling bad for either of them at this point. And then we see Big E come back and it's a triple threat at a WrestleMania or at a SummerSlam. But this was one of the most gut-wrenching moments I think I have ever seen in professional wrestling. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I hate Kofi Kingston. I hate Xavier Woods. Let me know what you guys think about this moment, and let me know what you guys have for theories about what this means going forward for the New Day. Typically, I don't just talk about one segment, but this was such a groundbreaking segment in wrestling that I felt like I just needed to make a solo video on it. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you for watching. Deuces, lads.